I just got done streaming like 4 hours of the brand new, incredibly Gooner gacha game Chasing Kaleidorider. I played this back at Tokyo Game Show 2025, and back then I thought it was pretty Gooner. They had me on stage, they had the one of the waifus come out and give me their shoe. I was kind of taken aback, but overall I really enjoyed myself at the booth. I got to play it for the first time like properly today, and oh my god, it was really freaking good. It was so much better than I thought it was going to be. I don't know the improvements necessarily between TGS and this beta test specifically, and these are my completely unsponsored opinions, by the way. I was sponsored to stream it, but this video is not sponsored in any capacity. Not that sponsorships ever dictate what I say either way, but immediately getting into this game, like, you'll notice that the waifus look incredibly good. Not all of them, but a lot of the waifus look incredibly good. They are very Gooner. Some of the interactions you can have with them are very Gooner. Like, at one point in the story, you actually kiss one of the main characters. This is like in the first, I don't know, 30 minutes of the game. You literally fall over, lock with them, and then you come to the realization that, interestingly enough, the waifus are like powered up because you transfer your ability to see like the monsters to them, or for them to interact with the monsters through the transference of your saliva. So literally you can be like, hey, open up. And then they... So, I mean, again, like, super gooner. I am curious, though, if, like in anime, there are certain other liquids that transfer even greater powers. But I think that's neither here nor there. The characters look phenomenal. There are already, like, incredibly gooner systems in place early on, and this only grows significantly more over time. You unlock essentially a dating feature. Like, it's a full-fledged, fleshed out dating system where you can take each character on dates to like carnivals, beaches, parks, etc., and it's very interesting the kind of interactions you can have with them there, because you have, I think, like 5 or 6 different, you know, like scenes that play out, and then you get rewarded like a certain amount of points based off of each scene, and the higher the points, the better the reward, the larger the impact, etc., etc. This is very cool. Genuinely, it's very, very cool. It's a full-on, fleshed out dating system. And then the affinity that you have with them then boosts your stats outside of battle, or inside of battle rather. Therefore, you benefit both in those certain circumstances and then also in battles as well by pursuing the dating and the relationship system. So overall, that is very, very cool, and there is a lot of depth, I think, and complexity to it. Something else that has a lot of depth and complexity is the combat system. Like, there was one fight in specific, like there are several fights actually, but there's this game mode, I forget off the top of my head right now what it's called, because I only did like 45 minutes of it towards the end of the stream, but it's a side field mode that you deploy units to, and you kind of slowly explore. They have a set of different encounters per like different region, and you attempt to 3-star them. You have a percentage, and as you continue to clear it, you get more rewards, and etc., etc. The battles themselves are so interactive, as in, like, you have to pay attention to where the enemies are, because they'll move vertically, horizontally. So a lot of your attacks are AoE, and you have to make sure that you can hit as many enemies with your AoE as possible. There's also like an affinity, a type affinity system. So as an example here, they have like a blue icon or a red icon or a yellow icon or an orange icon, and then you have to use the element that directly targets their weakness. So you see like 3 different blue things floating around, and you have a blue AoE character. You use your AoE, but you have to, because you got to kill them all in one hit, you have to wait till they all align perfectly, time and execute that perfectly. Otherwise you mess up and you have to do it again. So there's a lot of, I think, like well-timed moments and areas of the combat where you're going to require actual reaction time, which is really cool, because this is not a turn-based game, but it's also not a full action gacha game either. On the contrary, it's kind of like a real-time turn-based action strategy card game system. It's like Nikke with Blue Archive, and with, I guess you could probably say, Reverse 1999 with the card system as well. So it's like the 3 of those, the amalgamation of those 3 games together, making for a ridiculously fun combat style. And then there are other stages where you have to kill, you know, things with, there are certain like requirements to 3-star the stage. Like you have to make sure you're about like 70% HP. You have to make sure that you use only 8 abilities total. So you have to be like, okay, I gotta kill like 7 different monsters. I have to figure out which ability to use in which order to break that target, then AoE nuke all the targets that are broken while having enough left over to kill that guy, etc. So the combat is very, very deep. And I genuinely do appreciate that. Something I don't appreciate, though, is the main character. God damn, like, in the first few hours of the story, holy crap, is he, like, the biggest pussy-ass little loser you've ever seen. I'm sorry, I have to say it. This guy not only gets carried by the waifus multiple different times, he gets flung around, he gets stepped on, abused, beaten, he has no personality whatsoever. He's the biggest pushover you've ever seen. His character model is very generic, and he doesn't have a voice in the beta test. That really irked me. That really did. I love a main character that has a voice. I love a powerful, like, engaging, very badass main character. This guy was not that. This guy was the opposite of that. Now, that's just my opinion. Some people might like the main character. That's totally cool. But, you know, no game, no company is infallible, right? So every game has some issues. My hope here is that with regard to the main character, they give him a bit of a spine. Maybe he grows a spine over time. I don't know. Maybe I've only cleared up to chapter 2 so far. We're gonna be streaming this later today. More of it at I don't know, like 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So maybe over time he'll grow a lot better as a character, and he'll have a lot of character growth and personality. But as of the first 2 chapters, he really doesn't, and that really annoys me, because I just kind of roll my eyes at him repeatedly. The majority of the waifus, though, are all very good and very cool. And I know some people are upset, and I'm gonna come right out and say it right now. I've said this numerous times. I say this all the time when it comes to gacha games. Yo, I don't mean to interrupt the video, but I need to take a moment here to thank all my incredible patrons over on Patreon whose support continues to allow for me to do regular videos like this every single day on this channel. Thank y'all so much, including our YouTube channel members. You guys mean the world to me. So do you guys as viewers as well. Now, without further ado, let's continue. Gacha games are designed with a vision in mind. The developers have a vision in mind. They have a target demographic that they're looking to market their game towards. So in this instance, there is a male main character and a full female cast of characters. This game is therefore targeted at males that are interested in females. It is not targeted at females that are interested in males, or females that are interested in females, or males that are interested in males. It is for males that are interested in females. That isn't me saying that I think that this is the only type of game that should exist. On the contrary, I love the fact that Love and Deep Space exists. I love the fact that Silent Night exists, that Raid of Nightfall exists, that are all husbando gacha games. So women main characters targeting exclusively male characters to pull for. Then we have games like Brown Dust 2, Snowbreak, Nikke, and in this instance, Bittersea and Chasing Kaleidorider. These are all gacha games that have a male main character targeting exclusively female characters. There are games that target both demographics. Then there are games like Wuthering Waves, like Zenless Zone Zero, like Neverness to Everness, that have both male and female protagonists and have both male and female characters. So these are games that target both demographics. I think everyone should be allowed to enjoy their own games, and that every game caters to one of those 3 specific demographics. But at the same time, I also think that people shouldn't try to change games that target that demographic. I don't want any men going into lads or any of those other husbando targeting gacha games and saying, you know, this should cater to us. But by extension, I also don't think that there should be females that come into these male games and say that I want this game to be changed to cater to me, because they don't. There is a vision in mind from the developer, and people need to understand that this vision shouldn't be altered to fit the voice of the minority. Again, I think all gacha games have a target demographic, and I think the more that these games have those target demographics and the more games comprise these specific genres and subgenres and gender demographics, the better. More opportunities, more choices, more alternatives is fantastic. But at the end of the day, if a game doesn't fit what you want in a game, don't get upset about it. don't, you know, start lashing out and saying that they should change this to because I think it'd suit me better. It doesn't matter. You just go play something else. That's it. Whether you play WoWa, whether you play NTE or Genshin or Star Rail or Arknights Enfield or Nikke or Love and Deep Space or Infinity Nikki, it doesn't matter. Just go play the game that you want and that you enjoy. That's it. So I was pulled into a little bit of drama concerning this weird ass gender war, and I just wanted to make it abundantly clear, I don't give a fuck. I think everyone should enjoy their games. I think everyone has a game that caters to them specifically, and at the end of the day, we should just play those games and shouldn't try to change the games that aren't for us, evidently. Now, that's all I'm gonna say on this. I'm not gonna reply to comments that disagree with that statement. I don't care. That is my viewpoint. And to me, that's really the only one that matters. If you disagree, it's cool, fine, you know, go ahead, disagree. It's a public and open comment section for a reason. Let's talk next about the gacha, because the gacha is absurdly good. You have the limited banner, you have the standard banner, which allows for you to select one of, I believe it was 4 different waifus, and then you have the motorcycle banner, which is effectively like the weapon banner. The banners have a 0.8% chance of limited unit acquisition. I believe that's roughly the equivalent of Wuthering Waves. It's 0.2% higher than all of Hoyo's games, or at least Genshin Impact. The motorcycle weapon gacha is the same as the limited character gacha. They, interestingly enough, have no 50-50, which means they don't have the irritating Hoyo formula of gacha. They do have a guarantee of 80, which means that all you need to do is hit 80 to guarantee that character. That is fantastic. In the 4 hours I streamed, quite a bit of which was spent gooning, admittedly, I acquired 5 or 6 10-poles. That was a lot. I've earned thousands of currency, and the cost for individual 10-poles, individual singular poles, is 120. So it's 1,200 for a 10-pole. As long as they don't change that before official release, that is a fantastic cost per 10-pole. The gacha at 80, fantastic. The 0.8% is the base rate with a max rate of 2%. So honestly, not bad at all. Could be better, but it's not bad at all. You have no 50-50, a guaranteed 80, 0.8 to 2% at max with 120 per singular pull. The gacha is fantastic. The same applies to weapon, the same applies to the standard pull. Well, for the most part, because you have the guarantee again of the character that you choose. That is the gacha. Again, I'm glad that more gacha games are actually doing away with the 50-50. That's phenomenal. It makes it that much easier to actually get invested in and enjoy the game, because you're essentially guaranteed to get every single, if not the vast majority of characters, with a few that you want to skip that you're just not interested in. The voice acting is good. I played it in Japanese. The Japanese dubs never disappoint. The story is actually pretty good. I like the setting of those like dream-like ethereal creatures that I also like the fact that instead of having amnesia, you actually went into a coma for 25 years. Spoiler alert, by the way. I'm not going to delve too deeply into it beyond that, but effectively, like, there's this there's a very cool setting to it. It does get dark. I love the character interactions. I love the characters. The story has been very fun. I wish that the main character was a little bit more badass, but again, maybe he'll just have some character growth over time, and that will in fact happen. He's just kind of like wussy early on, which, I mean, again, I'm all for character growth. I think that the combat has been very good. I think the depth and complexity of the combat is very good. I think the gacha is very good. The gooning potential of the game is ridiculously good. The dating system is fantastic. Thus far, everything that I've seen has been great, with the exception of the design of the main character, the lack of voice acting, and his personality. So basically, I just don't like the main character. They could just like rework the protagonist to some extent, or he evolves over time. Totally cool. I would give this game like a 10 out of 10 for its beta, if not for the main character. Because the main character, I would give it a 9 out of 10. A lot of fun. But those are my brutal honest thoughts. I'm going to be streaming more of it over, what, like 4 or 5 hours from now on Twitch and on this YouTube channel. So if you're interested, come on over and join me. You can ask me anything you want live. You can see more of the gameplay. I'm going to try to push through as much of it as possible and then give a more concrete review of the game over on my Stix Reviews channel, which you should be subscribed to if you're not already. But that's it. Hopefully you're excited for the game. I'm hoping that they hold at least one more beta test with full voice acting and every overhaul that they can imagine, and then release it later this year. But either way, like, this is a very fun game. and I can't wait to play more of it. I know you think that you just hit the end of the video, and technically, yeah, you have. And I know your first reaction is to close out of it at this juncture, but don't. No, instead, I urge you to take a moment here and click one of the videos on screen that are coming up in just a moment so you remain up to date with everything going on in the gacha genre. Trust me, you're not going to regret doing so. Stay flaccid.